Welcome to Fantasy Football Hub. I'm joined today by my friend BigManBakar. Bakar, how are we?
I'm all good, my man. How are you doing? How's the break from FPL coming along?
It's okay. I didn't get the rank I wanted in FPL. I think the Haaland blank, the Salah blank, all that. Probably not much EO there. It wouldn't have mattered much anyway. But nice to have a break from it whenever you're not having a great season. What about yourself?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the World Cup fantasy. I mean, it's a bit of pressure off, and I'm really looking forward to the World Cup. Generally, really excited for it. And yeah, truth be told, I took 2 or 3 days off from FPL, and the past
How
couple of
dare
days
you?
have been, the past couple of days, I've really sort of gone through the international teams, their stats, statistics, done my homework on, who's starting, who's not, which opponents to target, bookies, odds, and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So I'm really, really excited for this video, and I hope that I can come up with a good match day one squad.
So straight off the bat, what I want to ask is what's your? It's a short form tournament, really. What's your overarching strategy, or what's your attack plan from the get go?
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to clarify that there are quite a few things up in the air regarding the rules of the tournament. We aren't exactly sure as to, for example, how many captains we are allowed to have. I mean, there are certain, let me call it rumors, which say that only two captains are allowed. There are others which say that you're allowed to change the captain an unlimited amount of times in a given match day. I'm not quite sure what will be the case, and that is quite a significant factor in deciding what squad to pick. Because obviously, for example, if there are only two captains, you'll be more uh, keen to spread the funds out and make sure that you have a stronger 15 throughout the squad. So I mean, these are certain things which need to be factored into. So there's some more clarity regarding the number of transfers and the substitutions that you can make in a given day as well. So again, I'm waiting for the game and the website to sort of give a clarity on that thought. As soon as we get it, the squad will then take shape. But for now, today, I'll just sort of run you through the rough template that I have, keeping in mind what the game should look like.
Yeah, I see a comment there. David was first in. Hello, David. And Nabojsa, I'm going to go for Radanovic. Rules are updated on the website, so we can obviously check that after we record this. Two captains apparently is the rule, so everyone will need to go and double check those before we get stuck in. There's just a few ambiguous sentences is really about the height of it, and it
Yeah,
that can be
exactly.
taken a couple of ways, but those ways could really change the strategy of the game. I think ultimately it won't tinker with the draft you make too much. There's a few things you could do, obviously, as you say there. You're going to want more big hitters if you can have multiple different captains. There's different things it would impact, but in a nutshell, a lot of the things we'll take away from your draft today, I think, will hold true. Everyone, while you're here, drop a wee like, subscribe to Fantasy Football Hub, and you can go and find Bakar at BigManBakar on Twitter, and you can find me at John Nellis. Right, Bakar, it is time for us to build your team from the back to the front, one player at a time, and I want you to tell us why. So, who is your starting goalkeeper?
As of now, I've gone with Emi Martinez from Argentina.
Don't you mean El
Again,
Demo? Demo Martinez?
yeah, Damien Martinez, as he's called in the game. He's 5.5 million, slightly expensive, but Argentina have the best odds for a clean sheet, and the clean sheet should be nailed against is like a 54th ranked Saudi Arabian team, according to the FIFA rankings. I mean, 62% odds are really strong, and Argentina in general have been in red hot form. To be very honest with you, ideally, I'd want to pick a Dutch goalkeeper here because Pasveer is, um, he's sort of rumored to start, but we don't know whether that will be the case. So if he is sort of rumored to start, I'll pick him at 4.5 million because he enables a big saving. But I'll wait for tomorrow for that news, and I'll see which way that goes. There's also the option of Costa from Portugal. But as of now, I'm on Martinez, and I think he's a safe bet.
Yeah, I think the Netherlands goalkeeper, whoever that is going to be the best pick. It's picking that player is the hard part. Pass fair, buy
Exactly.
low, it's a nightmare. Um, I always want, if this was traditional FPL, you'd probably pick the two of them up and then just roll with it. But I think it gets weird with locked and unlocked and all this malarkey, does it?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, exactly. You need 15 playable players in this game. I'm very clear about.
Cool. So Martinez in. We'll actually just what formation are you going to go for?
I don't have a set formation in mind. I have 15 playable players, and depending on
Fixtures.
whatever happens on every given day, I'll just play the optimal team according to what happens.
Give us your second goalkeeper then.
The second goalkeeper is Roche, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. He's the Uruguayan goalkeeper who's rumored to start. Apparently, he's going to start ahead of Muslera. He's just 4 million, and at that price, he's too good to pass up. And Uruguay have a decent fixture in Matchday 1 as well. They've been given like a 40% chance of keeping a clean sheet in it. It's against Korea, so I mean that's a good fixture. And in case my first goalkeeper doesn't keep a clean sheet, then I'd fancy my chances of getting a clean sheet from my substitute goalkeeper as well.
I like it. Who's our first and most nailed defender?
I actually have four defenders who are almost certainly going to be in my team, uh, more or
Pick one
less,
for us.
depending.
Pick your
I,
favorite.
I mean, I'll start with the first. I think Denzel Dumfries is the first one. 6 million, but he's absolutely nailed. I had the pleasure of owning him in the Euro fantasy, and he was incredible. Um, he just plays so far advanced. When you look at him in the Netherlands team, he's playing almost as high as a right winger. He's really advanced on the right flank, and he picked up an injury a few days ago, but it's been clarified that he should be fit for the first game for Netherlands. Um, and there's also the fact that when you look at the expected goal involvement, he's right up there for defenders. When you look at the internationals that have been played recently, so Dumfries is the first one who's in my squad, and I just don't see him leaving my squad at all.
Love it. Love the pick. Yeah, it was. There'll be a few people who still have the lingering rumours in their heads and maybe steer away because of that. But I just think Netherlands defenders and Dumfries in particular is like he'd be nailed on my team, 100%. Who's next?
The next one is Kieran Trippier. I love an England defender given their fixture against Iran. They should keep a clean sheet there, and there's sort of a pragmatic side under Southgate as well. There's a chance, there's a good chance that he plays the right wing back, and he's probably going to be sharing some of the set pieces as well. Uh, at 5 million, I think he's a bit of a snap when you compare him to the likes of, let's say, um, Cancelo, who's a 6 million, is slightly underpriced, I believe. And given the fixtures, I really like him. I do think given their group, England will keep probably two clean sheets out of three.
Yeah, I'd wager that too. Does it worry you that he could be rotated with Trent or maybe just get 65 minutes most games, or not concerned?
Um, Even if he gets more than 60, he's still gonna get the clean sheet. And I I don't think that Trent would be first choice. I do think that Trippier should start.
Cool. Okay, so Trippier's locked in. Wing backs. Is there another wing back coming?
Yeah, the other
Fullback?
one is Shaw. The other one is Shaw, as I said, regarding England, their fixtures are really good, and I want to take advantage of them early on, especially the first one against Iran. You know what's important in these kind of short games is to make sure that you start strongly because there's not much time to catch up, John. I mean, one thing in this game in general about chip strategy as well is that you have to start well, and in general, when you look at FPL, you generally tend to look long term. There is no long term in this game. You have to start strongly. You have to get the best picks, and you can't really look at match day two, match day three so early on, and especially at a time when you're probably going to use the chips early as well, because the best time to get the highest number of points is early on because that's when the weakest opposition are in the game, right? So that this is when the 4-0s and the 5-0s are likely to happen. You'd expect once the game goes to the round of 16, games will be tighter and won't be as many explosive hauls from your players. So I'm completely focused on getting as many high potential explosive players from game week one as possible.
I love it. Who's our fourth defender?
The fourth defender is Mile from Denmark. Again, he's another one I had the pleasure of owning in Euro Fantasy last year. He's a very good player. Plays as the left wing back, completely nailed. And at just 4.5 million, I think he's completely nailed. He's had 5 goal involvements in the World Cup qualifiers, 3 goal involvements in the Euros as well. Plays as the wing back, Denmark have a very favorable fixture against Tunisia in the first week. 51% chance of keeping a clean sheet according to the bookmakers' odds. I really, really like Denmark. Their defensive statistics have been very strong as well. And I think he's going to offer great value going forward.
Would you be tempted to go Martinez to Schmeichel then, given that? Or no? Do you know, save the $500,000?
I think if I was picking a goalkeeper, I'd probably pick Costa from Portugal. That's what is stopping me from going to Schmeichel.
Cool.
Because they're the same price, right? So
yeah, they're both $5 million. Who's your fifth defender?
My fifth defender at the moment is a bit of a budget enabler. To be very honest with you, there are a lot of defenders I really like. There's Pavard, there's Sandro from Brazil, and if I end up changing my squad, which I could, then I might end up spending a bit more. But if I wanted an enabler, I have an enabler in my squad right now, and that's Sosa from Croatia. He plays as a left back for Stuttgart. I haven't, to be very honest, I haven't seen him play, but reading up on him, he's had 8 assists in international football, and considering the fact he's just 4 million and they're up early on against Morocco, there's a decent chance of a clean sheet in the first round of fixtures if you need him.
I've got good news for you. He's just 3.5.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what I'm saying. He's a budget enabler, and he enables me to afford the rest of the squad.
So, who is our first midfielder?
My most premium midfielder at this point in time. Again, this is a pick I'm not entirely sure about because I might end up spending more up front. But I have De Bruyne in my squad. He's at this point in time, as we speak, he's the second highest owned player in the entire game. And Belgium are up against Canada early on, which could be a bit of a bloodbath. Belgium are one of the highest projected teams to score the highest amount of goals this week. One of the most likely teams according to the odds. And De Bruyne should do well. There's this rule in this World Cup fantasy that you get plus 1 point for every 2 key passes that you make. And De Bruyne is king for Belgium. He makes those key passes. He's taking those set pieces, so he should do well.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's a nice you really want those creative midfielders, but I think most of the players you'd be picking are relatively creative anyway. But there's definitely that added kicker of a point, isn't there? And I think De Bruyne will clean that up if anyone's going to. Who's your second most expensive?
My second most expensive is Musiala from Germany. Again, Germany are one of the most likely teams to score the highest amount of goals this week. They're facing Japan, and I'd want to have a piece of the Germany attack. Sane is 1 million more expensive, so I'm looking at Musiala. The other option, for example, I mentioned that if I get any news regarding Passware, is that if I can downgrade Emi Martinez to Passware, I can go to Di Maria, because again, that fixture against Saudi Arabia is one I want to target. I want to have triple Argentina for that. So Musiala could become Di Maria. There's that option as well. And again, as I said regarding De Bruyne, Di Maria is likely to create a lot of chances as well.
Love it. Musiala, yeah. I think with Germany's attack, I'm a bit worried with the likes of Musiala, Müller, Havertz, Gnabry, Sané. I just worry about rotation among them. I'm actually sorry, I'm not even reading off the screen. There's probably the other one. Brandt is there. Mario Götze, Gundogan, Goretzka. I know they're not really looking too forward. Like Müller, Gnabry, Havertz, Adeyemi. I don't know. I just worry about minutes there. But maybe Musiala's nailed.
From what I read, he should start. But again, ideally, I'd want Di Maria if I can find that 0.5 million. But he's in for now.
Yeah. Okay, Musiala. Who's up next?
Up next is Bergwijn, and I'm very sure that I'm going to be starting with him in my World Cup fantasy squad. He's one of the most nailed players for me as of now. Probably the most nailed midfielder of the 5 that I've selected. He's likely to play up front. There's, Depay is just coming on the back of a hamstring injury. He's been out for 2 months. So even though he's fit, he's not entirely certain to start the first game, and Bergwijn has been playing really well in the previous 5 games. He has 4 goals, and at 7 million, I don't think you can get a better pick than that. He's an absolute bargain, and um, again, he's been in good form for the Netherlands at a club level, so he's nailed for me.
Yeah, I think it's Depay's a real miss from this World Cup. He does so well for the Netherlands, but with him out, there's someone's going to pick up the slack, and it could be Bergwijn. I'm interested actually in Cody Gakpo personally to see how he does. I don't think I'll pick him for my World Cup fantasy because if he was a midfielder, I would probably pick him. Don't think I want to block a forward slot though. Who is your fourth midfielder?
My fourth midfielder is actually Olsen from Denmark. Um, Again, as I said earlier regarding Mala, Denmark are a team that I rate really highly, and Olsen has 14 attacking returns in 23 international appearances for them. And up against Tunisia, I ideally do want a bit of their attack. Ericsson is on pens, but he's 7 million, slightly more expensive. And if I can't afford him, um, then I get to get Olsen at 6 million at a decent price. I like him. The only problem with having a Denmark attacker is that they have France in game week 2. But again, this depends on the rules. I do think there's a good chance that I might end up wildcarding in game week 2 anyway, so this might not matter at all.
Yeah, I've heard stuff around the wild card where you could essentially wildcard in game week 2 and then essentially get a game week 2 and 3 wildcard out of it depending on when you make transfers.
Exactly. So we need slightly more clarity on that, because again, that would be a huge glitch if we can sort of get, where we have unlimited transfers game week 1, we end up wildcarding for game week 2, and then even sort of have unlimited transfers in game week 3 if we make the transfers on the last day of the match day. Again, that's questionable and a bit dodgy. We don't know whether that's actually going to be possible, but if it is, then happy days.
We're obviously going to play it and get all excited, but I think they've made right balls of it, haven't they? It shouldn't be this complex. If experts like us, not me, I'm not an expert, if experts like you and the guys coming on this channel and even me clicking around, and half of Twitter is in pandemonium about trying to work out what rules are, it's far too complicated for a casual to have any sort of success.
It is, and with these games, especially the international games, international football is watched globally by a lot of players, and this is a game which should be more tailor-made for casuals. And this is actually quite the opposite. You should make the game more easier rather than to make it more
accessible.
Complex. Exactly.
Who's our last midfielder?
I have Trossard at 5.5 million. There's a chance that he might end up playing in the front three, and if he does against Canada, he's a great option to have. He's been in great form in the Premier League, as we all know. I'm not 100% sure whether he's going to start, and again, this spot is open for debate because there is a chance that he might not play. There's Hazard, there's Lukaku, but I will wait for more news in the next day or so, and if we get any concrete news that he is playing, then he's definitely going to be in, because at that price, in that attack, I really want more of it.
Absolutely. I think like Trossard's a very popular pick because there's that out of position potential, and he's obviously been so good in the Premier League. People are expecting minutes. Belgium just such a competitive squad, but I think at 5.5 million, he's worth the punt really. Who is your? This is where it gets exciting, because there are good options up top, and it's funny because if you look at normal FPL versus this game, and we look at the value across the squad where we've 3.5 defenders and we've got like wing backs as with as much upside as the guys you've picked coming in at 5-6 million, and even some of the midfielders, the forwards, like when you compare it to FPL, the sheer number of them we have that are premium, you've got Ronaldo, Lewandowski, Messi, Neymar, Vinicius, Benzema, Keane, Mbappe, all over 10 million. So there are a few options, but not many people are straying away from Messi. Are you, or do you have Messi?
Oh, I have Messi. There's no chance that I don't select him. I don't want to disrespect him. He's up against Saudi Arabia in the first fixture. As I said, Argentina have been in great form. Messi has 10 goal involvements in his previous 5 international appearances. I just think he's the best captaincy option according to the bookmaker odds as well. He is the most likely player to return in the first match day, so he's absolutely nailed in my squad.
Who's your second forward?
My second forward is Neymar, because Um, Again, I want a piece of the Brazil attack in their first fixture, and they're projected to score quite a few goals. And Neymar is like the talisman for Brazil. He's on penalties, seven goal involvements in the previous five fixtures. So I like having the option of selecting Neymar.
I love Neymar as a pick. Obviously, everyone's going Messi. Some people can't sandwich Neymar in, and people want Mbappe, and people want Kane. I wouldn't say, I don't know what the numbers are, percentage selected. Yeah, Neymar is actually owned by quite a few there, but 32%. I actually haven't looked at these before. That's actually, he's like half as much as a Messi. I think Neymar's going to absolutely slam for Brazil. That's not me exactly playing Mystic Mac and predicting something outrageous, to be fair, but I'm very bullish on Neymar, like potential golden boot, I'm thinking. But anyway, on to your last pick, Bakar. I digress.
The last pick is between one of the Brazil or the Argentina forwards, is Richarlison, that I can possibly get for 7.5 million. There's Lautaro Martinez. I have Martinez in my squad at this moment in time. I just want more of the Argentinian attack against Saudi Arabia, and that's why I've selected him. I just think they're gonna absolutely kill it against Saudi Arabia, and that's why I want more of their attack. That's the only thing that's swinging it for me.
Yeah, I think that fixture is just Messi hat-trick all over it, isn't it? I'm very, very excited to see how they do there. God love Saudi Arabia. Who's starting on the bench?
On the bench, I have those players who are playing on Wednesday and Friday. Sorry, Wednesday and Thursday, which is the Uruguayan goalkeeper. There's Sosa. Neymar is playing late as well, and there's Musiala. So that's going to be my bench, and the rest will play in the first 11.
And that's an important thing, I suppose, for people to be aware of. So I'm trying to work at this bloody clicking around here while looking at my phone trying to work this out. Basically, I've just removed a couple of your players. I'll work it out. Just talk to us about like the strategy behind that. People will probably want to put their best players on the pitch, but maybe they shouldn't do that.
Exactly. So my point is that given the fact that you can make manual substitutions in this game, you should take advantage of it, because, for example, if you have a player playing on the first day of a given match and he doesn't perform, then you can sub him out for the player who's playing on the next day of the given match day. So it's beneficial for you, and it's the optimal strategy to have those players in your first 11, regardless of how good or bad they are, who play early in a given match day, and those who play late should be on the bench, as is the case with my squad as well. And it's also important, this one thing keeping in mind is because of this manual substitutions rule, you should sort of try and have a variety of players across different days as well.
I've built your team. It's here. It's ready to rock. I'm going to make Messi your captain. But what I want to ask you is, in terms of these boosters, I've seen arguments. I think it was Abdul mentioning, going early with the 12th man. Pick Mbappe, for example, for that great opening fixture. Play it early and play power captain early, because there's a couple of really good fixtures there. And if you pick the 12th man straight off the bat, you'll get your Mbappe or whoever you want to pick. Maybe you pick someone else. And the power captain, you'll have that for like the Messi fixture. And there's a few other nice fixtures, obviously, in the first round. Where do you stand on boosters or early doors match day one?
I am a huge fan of using the 12th man chip early on, and I do think I will probably do it for my own squad as well. I don't have Mbappe, and I think I will go to Mbappe because of a couple of reasons. First, he's very expensive, and I don't think I can afford him in my given squad. As you see, I have Neymar. The second reason is that after Messi, he's the most likeliest player to return according to the bookies odds this week. And not owning him is going to be scary. And I want a piece of that France attack against Australia. The third point is that France are playing Denmark in game week 2, which is a difficult fixture for them. And very recently, Denmark actually beat them and kept a clean sheet against them. So the advantage that you get from playing this strip this week is that you only get to own Mbappe for 1 week, and it's basically a week where you can own him for Denmark, get his points, and then you can get rid of him in game week 2.
And what about the power captain?
I'll go with Messi to begin with, and then I'll look at Neymar if things don't work out, which I highly doubt will be the case.
But so you won't be playing the power captain chip where you get the highest scoring player?
No, not to begin with. I think I'll leave it for game week 2 or 3.
Okay, holding off. I
Yeah.
like it. So this is your current draft. I suppose people want to see your final reveal. Where will it be?
I'll write an article on Fantasy Football Hub where I'll update my final team tomorrow. Again, I'm waiting for some clarity on the rules. Uh, as you say, there's also the fact that there's not enough clarity given at this point in time whether we can play 2 chips in a given match day or not. Again, if that's possible, then I might look at the bar captain as well. But again, it depends on what news we get tomorrow.
Guys, do us a favour, like the video before you leave. As I say, subscribe to Fantasy Football Hub on YouTube, and you can find us both at our handles. Mine is just there. Do that, Bakar. Point it at your head. It makes them go more. Uh, he doesn't know where it is because you can't see it in the screen. But Bakar, anything to say before we go?
No, I mean, good luck for the game. I hope you all enjoy the World Cup and enjoy the break.
Yeah, enjoy it. Go and enjoy the game. This isn't one to get wound up about like FPL. This is one to go and have some fun. So enjoy it. Best of luck. Thanks to everyone in the comments. See Greg there, Al Capal, Yachinu, Feborn, Gruche LA, David's here, Call Patrol. Lots of you is there. See you next time.